Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
To the flag as we honor America and those who protect your freedom with the playing of our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into tonight's broadcast. The Red River Pilots' home debut. They're facing the Souris Valley Sabre Dogs after a 4-game set in Minot against the same squad. I'm Braden Ramsey. I'll be your play-by-play guy tonight. Meet the lineups for each team. Leading off for the Sabre Dogs, number 10, playing center field, Luis Pelayo. Batting second, number 5, Hunter Delanoy. He's playing right field. In the 3-hole, number 31, Ben Newbert, your designated hitter. Hitting fourth, number 32, Chris Monroe, playing first base. Batting fifth, number 4, Jack Barlow. He's at third.
Leading off for the Sabre Dogs, center fielder number 10, Luis Pelayo.
We'll get through the rest of that lineup here in a little bit as we're ready to play ball here in Grand Forks. First pitch from Nate Scott, making his pilot debut right over the inside corner for strike one. That pitch misses just outside. Scott, a right-hander out of Galveston College, skips that one. It'll be 2-1 count here on Pelayo. Ball 3 misses high and outside.
Yes, actually, I do.
Scott, a 6'5" right-hander, misses high again, and Pelayo draws the leadoff walk.
Now batting the right fielder, number 5, Hunter Gelato.
Hunter Delanoy, the right fielder, stepping into the box now, making his Sabre Dog debut. First pitch he sees is swatted off to the left side, out of play.
Yeah, I can work almost every night, so I play games in baseball. So those nights, obviously, dinner. But yeah, every
Scott delivers it high once again, missing high here early. Perhaps some early jitters. A 1-1 count here. Ball skied to the left side, drifting foul. Joey Hayden chasing after it, but it's out of play.
That foul ball is brought to you by Deke Pizza, 772-335. That's 772 Deke.
Delanoy, a grad student out of Wayne State University, which is located in Detroit, Michigan. Ground ball to the second baseman. No double play there as Kirkman able to get the shovel off to Walton. But Delanoy legs it out to make it a fielder's choice.
After the fielder's choice, now batting designated hitter number 31, Ben Newbert.
Designated hitter Ben Newbert in the box now. Was named the Sabre Dog of the Series for his performance in Minot. Crazy numbers through 4 games, hitting .412, on-base percentage of .474, 2 home runs and 7 RBIs in that 4-game set. Now he's got a 2-0 count, has 2 knuckle curves from Scott, miss low and outside. Newbert, another Division II product out of Bloomsburg University. Scott rifles one over the outside corner for strike 1. Grounded right back to Scott. He looks for Walton at second. There's one. Lee unable to make the scoop at first. Another fielder's choice. Newbert takes Delanoy's spot at first, and there's 2 down for the Pilots.
The fielder's choice, now batting the first baseman at 32, Chris Monroe.
Chris Monroe stepping into the box now. First baseman out of Central Michigan. If you tuned into the other Pilots games thus far, you'll know his nickname is Diesel, and with good reason. Hits the ball a ton. This time, though, grounded right to Walton, over to Kirkman at second base. There's out number 3. Pilots will head to the dugout and get their bats. Their first plate appearances here in Grand Forks, 0-0 after the top of the first inning. Way to the right, though. I thought you said that was the right setting to have, not the second one. Okay.
Who are they picking up? Everything?
So I could hear you all. I think I could hear him talking at some point. I think I could catch it all talking at some point. What's the one? So what is each setting?
That's omnidirectional.
So that's going to go everywhere. Okay. What's the second one?
Oh, no, that's omni. That first one is going to be,
That's like if you're doing an interview.
right?
The second one is
the
just.
one, the very far away one, you need, like, if you wanted to, like, if you weren't in here, if you're outside, you can hear, like, the crates of that.
Okay.
It's going to be hard, because we just got to be really quiet. Like, we just can't say nothing except for other than when I announce. I could probably also move over there if teams wanted to.
How much you have to stand in the concession area?
I'll stand over.
It's up to
I don't know if people can reach.
This thing?
Yeah.
I have a hope so. Look at the field.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, you want to do it? You want to watch this too?
I don't know. What is this doing there?
Oh, shit. You probably can't. You have to do walk-up songs.
I don't know how to do that. I mean, you can take that with you. I'll just do the clock.
I don't know how far Bluetooth goes.
It's perfectly, I don't know. You're fine sitting there. It's not that big a deal. I was just saying I could hear.
Right,
all
just
the
don't have
stuff.
conversation.
Yeah, basically, except for when I.
Yeah, that's the sound of it. Now batting for your Red River Pilots, the left fielder number 25, Joey Hayden.
Thanks for sticking with us as we work on getting all the audio sorted out here. Been a bit of a mess on the upper management side of things in this area so far, just trying to get everything figured out. Joey Hayden in the box now for the Pilots. The first at-bat for the home team in their home stadium. Daniel Tomkowitz's first pitch hits low. That pitch looked like it scraped just under the knees there, across the plate, barely missing low, and it's 2-0 now against the Pilot leadoff hitter Hayden. And another miss there, that one inside. Hayden showing good patience so far. It's been stressed by Pilot manager Matty Holum. Hasn't necessarily been practiced to the utmost thus far. 3-0 count, strike one, crosses the plate just at the knees. Tomkowitz the windup, here's the pitch. Strike two. Hits the low inside corner of the strike zone. Tomkowitz battling back. It's now a full count. Hayden, a switch hitter out of William Jessup University. Sees ball four, tosses the bat to the dugout, and he trots down to first. Leadoff hitter on board for Red River, and now shortstop Jack Walton comes into the box.
Now batting shortstop number 7, Jack Walton.
Walton played in 3 games so far for the Pilots, 2 for 13. Hayden takes off, no swing from Walton. The throw is on the money from Seth Delgado, and Joey Hayden gunned out at second. Looked like he might have been able to sneak his hand in there, but not in time. Cameron Willman applying the tag. That's about as good as you'll see it from catcher to middle infielder there on the steal attempt. The pitch to Walton was a ball. It's a 1-0 count. Walton plays his college ball. The Colorado School of Mines, which is a D2 university. He's actually transferring out of there, though. Looking to move on up to the D1 level. Still exploring his options. Now he awaits the pitch from Tomkowitz on a 2-0 count. Called strike. Pretty good pitch right over the heart of the plate. The windup and the delivery. Inside out swing from Walton, drops it into left field. That'll be a base hit. Right in front of Cody Muncie, fielded it off one hop to get it back to the infield. Another switch hitter for Red River now entering the batter's box.
Now batting the number 6, the third baseman, Tyler Wiltshire.
Tyler Wiltshire out of Minot State. Hitting .273 through 3 games so far. The Sabre Dogs home field, Corbett Field, actually where he plays his home games for Minot State. So a little bit of familiarity out there. That ball laced into right center field. Walton rounds second, heads to third. Wiltshire puts the brakes on, retreats to first base. The Pilots looking to get something cooking here. Runners on the corners with one down. Their hottest hitter, Jalen Lee, coming to the plate.
Now batting first baseman number 29, Jalen Lee.
Lee out of Mid-Atlantic Christian University, one of 4 different pilots to come from Elizabeth City. 4 for 11 in Minot over 3 games. So a .364 average. That pitch in his eyes takes it for ball 1. Lee hit 6 home runs and had 32 RBIs at Mid-Atlantic Christian this last year. Ball 2 high and outside, 2-0 count now. Also made 3 pitching appearances, the best of which was a 1-inning save where he had 1 strikeout back on February 10th. Swing and a miss there on the heater outside, 2-1. Tomkowitz readies, misses off speed, high and outside, and 3-1 now. A great hitter's count for Jalen Lee, looking to put the Pilots on the board. Swings and gets that ball past the diving Willman at first. Wiltshire holds at second. Walton steps on home plate, and the Pilots have a 1-0 lead here in the early going.
Following the RBI single, now batting for your Pilots, designated hitter number 13, Josh Simon.
Josh Simon, designated hitter, stepping in, looking to do more damage here for Red River. Damage is something he did all of 2021-2022 season. 40 games at the NAIA level, he hit .450 with 10 doubles and 10 home runs. Missouri Valley College loved having him in the heart of their order. Ball low and away, 2-0 count. Simon hails from Santa Cruz, Aruba. Same place as center fielder for the Sabre Dogs, Luis Pelayo. A 3-0 count on Simon. His success from college hasn't translated here quite yet. Still working on getting acclimated to the area. None of the Pilots have been up in Grand Forks too terribly long yet. Just 1 for 10 in Minot, but it was an RBI double down the left field line. He takes strike one. Tomkowitz shakes off Delgado for the first option there. Here's the windup. Delivery home, back up the middle, a diving stop, and a double play turned. What a play there by the Sabre Dogs. 6-4-3 double play. Demeter to Willman, over to Monroe. Much needed ground ball from Daniel Tomkowitz. If you're a Sabre Dogs fan, they managed to allow only the one run. It's 1-0 Red River in front after the first inning here at Kraft Field. Back in Grand Forks, top of inning number 2, Nate Scott going to work with a lead. Nearly shaves the batter there. It'll be ball 1 to Jake Barlow. Third baseman tonight for Souris Valley takes strike 1. 1-1 count. An unfamiliar position for Souris Valley. They led much of the series out in Minot. Red River had a couple different leads as that knuckle curve is fouled off. Back near us, it lands in the bleachers above. It'll be 1-2. Time called there by Barlow as Scott and Jason Willer is unable to get on the same page. Finally are, and here's the pitch. It's a high fastball, 2-2 count upcoming. Knuckle curve once more. Fouled straight back into the stands once again. Barlow looking a little off balance there, but he fights it off. He'll get another pitch. As I mentioned earlier, Scott, 6'5", 220 pounds, a freshman, The last member of the Pilots to make his debut. Just comes with being the number 5 starter in a rotation. But he's very excited to get on the bump, very excited to be in Grand Forks. Did an intro interview with him last week. And fellow Texan Garrick Schreiber, that ball lined into center field. Barlow dumps it right in front of Whitley. Cody Muncie into the box now. Takes ball 1 high and outside. Muncie out of Oklahoma Wesleyan University. Same as catcher Seth Delgado. A nice fastball rifled in for strike 1. The 1-1 pitch. Muncie squares the bunt. A lot of velo off that bunt attempt. Might have made it up into the stands off to the left side. 1-2. Muncie hitting .267 through 4 games. Takes ball 2 down and in. 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Home run was an impressive display of opposite field power, and he goes down looking. Scott dots the upper quadrant of the zone. Muncie has some beef with it. There's not much he can do. 1 out here in the 2nd inning for the Pilots. Scott's knuckle curve grounded to Wiltshire. He'll have to go to first after being unable to control it at first. And Jalen Lee snags the throw. 2 outs now for Red River. As David Demeter wasn't in the box long, like that first pitch he saw. Now Delgado steps in. As I mentioned before, he's a teammate of Muncie's at Oklahoma Wesleyan. And Scott paints the outside corner there for strike 1. Doing a good job so far of hitting his spots. Not giving the Sabre Dog hitters anything good to hit. Just as I say that, there's a ball sent into the sky in right field. Micah Barkenhagen over to make the catch for out number 3. The Pilots will look to add on to their lead here in the bottom of the 2nd. Still 1-0. Red River leading Souris Valley. Catcher Jason Willers ready to take his first at bat here in front of the home fans in Grand Forks. Played in 2 games on the road at Souris Valley, and that's a ball low, 1-0. Managed to get 1 hit in his 6 at-bats out there. Ready's for the pitch from Tomkowitz, and that one is a strike right at the knees. Willers out of Morningside University. In 48 games there, he hit .355, so you've got to think the hitting is going to come as we get more accustomed to seeing the pitchers and everything else, and getting more comfortable in Grand Forks. .429 on base percentage out there. .562 slugging, a 2-1 count now. Here's the pitch. And a perfectly placed fastball. Strike 2. Willers lifts that ball over the second baseman's head into right center, and that's the 4th hit of the game already for Red River. The home confines bringing a lot more luck with the bats. Leadoff man reaches for the 2nd inning in a row.
The single. Now batting your center fielder number 5, Caleb Whitley.
Caleb Whitley in the box now. The only left-handed throwing pilot on the roster. It's rare to see lefty throwers sometimes, but out of a 26-man roster, being the only one surprised me a little bit. Takes the off-speed pitch high and away. Whitley also doubles as a pitcher. Made 2 pitching appearances. That ball lined right back into the stanchions. Be a 1-1 count. Made 2 pitching appearances in Minot. 4 1/3. Gave up 5 hits and 2 walks. Had 1 strikeout. 4 earned runs. 2-0 pitch. That's ball 2, I should say. 2-1 count now. Tomkowitz gathers his breath. He stepped back off the mound there, trying to lock in. The pitch to Delgado. It's outside. 3-1 count on Whitley. You can really see the Pilots exercising that patient approach that manager Matty Holum emphasized repeatedly. Whitley unable to make contact with that swing, a full count. Whitley hit the first home run of batting practice this year for the Pilots, but he goes down swinging that time, fouls the fastball right back into the mitt of Delgado for out number 1.
Following the strikeout, now batting your right fielder number 8, Micah Barkenhagen.
Speaking of first home runs, Micah Barkenhagen, the right fielder here, the lone Pilot with a long ball thus far. Absolutely crushed one in Game 3 of the series between these two teams. Out to left field. At the time, it gave the Pilots a 2-1 lead. A front door curveball there. Catches Barkenhagen looking for strike 1. Barkenhagen out of Ottawa University in Arizona swings through the high fastball for strike 2. was trying to talk manager Matty Holm into using him on the mound. He did hit 88 in his first bullpen session of the season. Matty gave him a shot. That pitch there, a fastball right down the can, but Barkenhagen unable to connect. That's 2 Ks in the inning for Tomkowitz after the leadoff single.
Now batting is second baseman number 2, Jared Kirkman.
Kirkman playing second tonight. Spent most of his time during practices at third base. Pitch looked like it may have been a tad low and away, but the strike called. 0-1 count on Kirkman in the 9 spot tonight. That one is slapped foul to the right side, 0-2. Kirkman also played in 3 games at Souris Valley. 1 for 10 with a double and an RBI. And that pitch may have been a makeup call there. Looked pretty good. Appeared to be on the outside corner to my eye, but I'm not the umpire. So 1-2 count for Kirkman. He gets a second life. That one popped into right field. Racing into foul territory and a sliding grab by Cameron Woolman for out number 3. Sadly, that one might have been outside our camera view, but an impressive play sliding into foul territory near the right field fence, right field foul line fence, I should say. Nate Scott back on the bump, looking to keep the Sabre Dogs scoreless here, top of 3 at Kraft Field. The 9-hole hitter Cameron Willman in the box. Made a couple of impressive plays in the field so far. A knuckle curve just on the outside corner for the first strike. Scott right back in. That ball hit to left field. Joey Hayden running back to the fence and makes the catch just in front of the warning track. A nice play there by the Pilot leadoff man for out number 1.
Now, following the
Pelayo steps back in now.
Batting the center fielder number 10, Luis Pelayo.
First pitch he sees is high above the letters. Pelayo walked in that first plate appearance. And that one down low for a 2-0 count. Pelayo, the ultimate table setter, and just mashes the ball. Strike 1 there. Down the heart of the plate from Scott. Last season, Pelayo
You want to do that so I can...
takes 3-1.
Yeah. Is that all three?
That ball grounded to Walton at short. Pelayo racing down the line. Lee with the nice play at first base. 6-3 put out for the second out of the inning. Trying to make my point about Pelayo. From the University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma.
Now batting the right fielder, number 5.
Hit 391 last
Delano.
season. Hit 402 in 2019-2020. Hunter Delanoy back in the box. A fielder's choice first time up. And Scott again cruises a fastball on the inside corner. That ball appears to glance off the top of the glove of Willers and might have grazed the head of the umpire. Appeared to take it in stride, though, a 1-1 count. Scott to the plate. Delanoy gets out of the way of that one. Bounces in front of him, 2-1 count. When you're a two-time Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference first-team member, you definitely don't want it to just take a trip to first base from a bouncing ball in front of you. Fastball goes outside, 3-1. Also the Great Lakes Intercollegiate Athletic Conference Freshman of the Year, his first year, and that ball flied into center field, just left of straightaway. And Whitley ranges over to make the catch. Scott's through 3 innings with no runs on the board. The Pilots will look to give him more support here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 at Kraft Field here in Grand Forks. The Pilot leadoff hitter Joey Hayden back into the box for his second appearance. Takes a strike one. Hayden singled but was caught stealing last time, and that one is lined into right field. Hayden thinks about trying for 2, ultimately decides against. Gets back to first base just in time. Hayden 2 for 2. Jack Walton in the familiar spot of no outs and a runner on first. We'll see what Hayden tries to do this time. He's got a solid leadoff at first base. We know Delgado has a cannon behind the dish. That first pitch is low. You can see the respect for Delgado's arm as Hayden doesn't try it, even though it does skip away. Walton singled to left field in his first at-bat. Hayden dives back to first. More of a half-hearted pickoff attempt there from Tomkowitz. The second half-hearted attempt over there. Tomkowitz out of York College, located in Nebraska. A good pitch there. Be a 1-1 count. Last season for York, made 11 starts. Walton fouls one back over the netting into the bleachers here. Packed with fans here in Grand Forks. Through 3 complete games, had a 4-3 record. A 2.81 ERA. Trying to keep Hayden honest over there. "82 strikeouts in those 11 games compared to 36 balls. Walton hits the foul ball to the left side. Nearly a great play made there by Jake Barlow, but that ball stays just out of the reach of his outstretched glove. Walton takes a second to gather, as does Tomkowitz stepping toward first. And Walton digging back in. Tomkowitz getting usher on here by the umpire. A quick twirl of the finger, trying to get him back on the mound. Looks like he's going over double play ball possibility here with his infield. So Walton will have to protect with 2 strikes. That one high and tight. Tomkowitz a little quicker this time, but again throws over to Hayden for the 4th time in this at-bat from Walton. Even though Delgado was able to catch Hayden at second base, clearly a lot of respect for the speed he possesses. Walton inside out again to left field. Will it drop down? It will, and it's a fair ball. Walton's second single of the evening. Comes in very similar circumstances to the first.
Following the single, now batting third baseman number 6, Tyler Wilshire.
Walton hasn't necessarily hit these balls the hardest off the bat, but if you're not going to be able to light one up, solid secondary strategies to hit it where they aren't. He's managed to drop it in between defenders both times. Wiltshire squares to bunt, pulls back as that ball hits the turf dirt in front of him. Wiltshire also with a single this far. Smacked it into right center field. Tries doing so again, but it's fouled straight back. Rolls out to Barlow at third. A 1-1 count. Tomkowitz delivers. And Wiltshire right on the ground to the shortstop. To second for 1. Monroe unable to pick it at first base. Ball goes out of play. Hayden able to score. Wiltshire advances to second, and the Pilots have a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third. Now a runner in scoring position for Jalen Lee. Lee swings at one, down and in. Had an RBI single in his first plate appearance of the evening. And smacks that ball to the second baseman. Willman throws on to first, an easy 4-3 put out there. Wiltshire over to third.
Following the 4-3, now batting the designated hitter number 13, Josh Simon.
I don't even know if that's playing out there. I can't hear anything. That guy's watching something.
Now Josh Simon looking for his second RBI of the season. Grounded into a double play last time to kill the rally. And he does just what he was expecting to do here. An RBI single up the middle. Wiltshire trots home. 3-0 Red River.
Following the RBI single, now batting your catcher number 26, Jason Willers.
Mentioned the power Simon possesses, but that time looking to just put the ball in play, get that runner home, and he does just that. Already 8 hits on the night for Red River. Don't believe they had as many hits in a game, in a single game in Minot. They've brought the sticks so far tonight as Willers watches a curveball for strike 2. Players will reset. Willers taking a deep breath and exhale as he steps back in. Simon dives back to first, does a push-up. Got to get the workouts in while you can in a long season. Shuffling over at first base. And Willers slaps it into right field. He's now 2 for 2 with 2 singles. And Caleb Whitley will come to the plate. 2 on and 2 outs.
Now batting for the Pilots, center fielder number 5, Caleb Whitley.
Whitley got sat down swinging in his first at-bat. And swings through a fastball for strike 1 this time. Simon trying to distract Tomkowitz the best he can out at second. Probably see him in your camera view shuffling back and forth out there. 0-2 count upcoming. So Whitley fouls another one right back at us. The press area here at Kraft Field, as you can tell from the camera location, right behind home plate. Slightly off to the right side. The 0-2 is high, above the bill of Whitley's helmet. Tomkowitz apparently trying to brush him off, but Whitley doesn't seem phased. Digs back in, wags the bat back and forth, and fights off another fastball. Whitley smacks one into the short outfield. Demeter calls off Willman, who was signaling for it initially. There's out number 3. The Pilots able to add 2 more, giving Nate Scott a 3-0 lead as he comes out for the top of the 4th. Ben Newbert in the box, unable to hold back on a good knuckle curve from Scott, and that's strike 1. Newbert, the second of 3 consecutive fielder's choices that occurred in the first inning. Scott unable to snap off that breaking ball as well as the first. A 1-1 count. Working fast, that ball smacked to center. Whitley back to the warning track, able to haul it in. Now the first baseman for Souris Valley, Chris Monroe, ripped to Wiltshire, goes to knees to make the catch. The throw to first in time. A great play from Wiltshire for out number 2. A 1-pitch at bat. And Nate Scott, only thrown 4 so far this inning. We'll see what he's able to do with Jake Barlow.
Now batting the third baseman, number 4, Jake Barlow.
A fastball for a strike. Hits the top of the zone. Barlow out of Delta State University, located in Cleveland, Mississippi. That ball fair over the bag. Down into the corner. He'll get the second. Hayden just now corrals it. A perfectly placed double from Barlow.
Double. Now batting left fielder number 8, Cody Muncie.
Cody Muncie went down looking in his first at-bat. With a runner in scoring position, he'll look to avoid that, and there's a low and outside strike. Barlow's doubled the third hit for Souris Valley thus far. As that fastball tails outside. A 1-1 count. Scott with a 4-pitch repertoire. 4-seamer, 2-seamer, a knuckle curve, and a circle changeup. And he drops that one in for strike 2. See that changeup dart down. A 1-2 count. Willers sets up on the inside corner. Scott pushes it a little too far. It'll be a 2-2 count. Muncy crouching down a bit lower with 2 strikes, trying to protect. Swats at that curveball, sends it into the stands down the third baseline. Scott working fast. Has been all night. This time unable to get on the same page with Willers on first look. A fastball, can't quite blow it by Muncy. A late swing, but it's fouled off. Willers calls time. Everybody will reset and take a breath. Muncy right at Wiltshire. It's a line out to the third baseman. Hard hit ball finds the netting of the glove. 4 clean innings on the mound for Nate Scott. Red River looks to get back after it with the sticks. Apologies for the late return. Tomkowitz misses low to Barkenhagen. Swing and a miss that time. Barkenhagen, 6 feet tall, 190-pound freshman. When you hear a 3 true outcomes hitter, that's what he's been so far in the Expedition League. Talked about the home run. Also has 1 walk and 5 strikeouts. So only 1 plate appearance has ended in something other than a home run, walk, or strikeout. Always looking to do damage up there. That ball fouled off to the right side. Ball fouled back off the catcher's mask. Might have clipped the umpire as well. He'll take a trip over to the Pilot dugout to get some baseballs. Some discrepancy on the count there. It appears it's 2-2. Not a full count. That's strike 3 called. Dots the outside corner there, does Tomkowitz. So Barkenhagen down looking.
Now batting second baseman number 2, Jared Kirkman.
Jared Kirkman 0 for 1. The nice sliding grab from Cameron Willman in foul territory on the right side is what kept him from being able to extend his at-bat. A nicely located pitch again from Tomkowitz for strike 1. That ball on a hop to Demeter. Running throw. It's a strike to Monroe for out number 2.
Following the 6-3, now batting left fielder number 25, Joey Hayden.
And Joey Hayden back in the box. 2 for 2 to this point, 2 singles. 1 caught stealing his first time on base, but 1 run scored the second time. And that one lofted into shallow center. Demeter races back to get under it. 3 outs. Tomkowitz's first clean frame. A 1-2-3 inning. We're headed to the top of the 5th here in Grand Forks. The Pilots in front 3-0 over the Sabre Dogs. Welcome back to Grand Forks. We're in the top of the 5th. Red River Pilots in their home opener, not just for the season, but for the team altogether. They lead 3-0 over the Souris Valley Sabre Dogs as Scott's pitch just outside for ball one. Dave Demeter able to recognize the curveball coming out of Scott's hand. Unable to put it anywhere nice, though. Back into the stands, it's a 1-1 count. A low fastball there makes it 2-1 on Demeter. Grounded out to Wiltshire in his first at-bat. A .370 hitter last season for the Valley City Vikings. Walked more than he struck out, a rare occurrence in baseball anymore. It's 27 balls to 23 strikeouts. Actually walked the same amount of times he struck out. The year prior, 28 and 28. It's going to be a tough play for Walton. Thrown over to Lee, the stretch just in time. Demeter is retired.
Following the 6-3, now batting the catcher number 17, Seth Delgado.
Seth Delgado calling time there. Trying to keep Scott from being able to stay in his routine. Been working fast. It had a good effect as Scott bounces that one way in front of the plate. Willers trots out. Give him the new ball. Home plate umpire wearing that one off the bounce right in the gut. That's why they give you some pads as an umpire as well. Scott shakes off Willers. And here's the pitch. Low and away. You know, if you really dive into this Souris Valley lineup, you'll see every single player from top to bottom just absolutely able to rake the ball. Delgado does that past a diving Wiltshire. It'll be the fourth hit of the game for Souris Valley.
Following the single.
The hitters count there 2-0, and Delgado takes advantage.
Cameron Willman.
We'll see what Cameron Willman's able to do with one out. Willman, a former Kansas State Wildcat, he transferred to New Mexico. A Lobo last season, takes strike one. A .310 hitter as a Lobo, and strike two there from Scott. Really working quickly, already back on the bump. Sets and fires. Swing and a miss, strike three. Scott's second K of the day.
Following the strikeout, now batting the center fielder number 10, Luis Bellato.
Pelayo's third plate appearance starts with a ball. Really digging into his stats. He's a three-time All-American. That one grounded to Kirkman. The shuffle over to Walton. Out number 3, and Nate Scott. Brilliant so far on the mound. Red River will look to give him some more run support here in the upcoming bottom of the 5th. You're watching Red River Pilots, Souris Valley Sabre Dogs here at Kraft Field.
Shortstop number 7, Jack Walton.
Yeah, started the 6th inning.
We told them we had to keep it.
Jack Walton will look for his third hit in as many trips to the plate. 2 singles so far. Daniel Tomkowitz really settled down that last inning. Swing and a miss, it's deemed. Couldn't quite tell if that ball was skimmed or not by the bat of Walton. A lot of traffic through the first 3 innings. What Tomkowitz dealt with from Red River, but 1, 2, 3 in the last frame. A tight slider there. Misses high. Walton fouled up and away. Plenty of fans getting some souvenirs here tonight. Balls being sent right into the bleachers on top of us. The 1-2 count. Just inside. Walton doing a good job laying off. Talked with him earlier. He was apparently hit in the face at one point. Does a nice job fouling that off-speed pitch off. Talking to him earlier, he wore a 92-mile-an-hour fastball to the face. At one point, required some surgery to get that fixed. Talked about some of the jitters. Takes just getting back in the box. You know, some of the reflexes that come from that. Just some trauma experience. He now wears the C-flap. That ball gets just out of play.
That foul ball was sponsored by Geeks Pizza.
Said it really took some time to be able to get comfortable again in the box. He's managed to be good in there tonight. Really get his footing back under him since that happened. A high off-speed pitch. A full count coming. Will be the 8th pitch of the bat. Walton swings and misses. So he's sat down. But a nice battle there between Tomkowitz and Walton.
Number 6, Tyler Wiltshire.
Wiltshire has been on base twice tonight, once via single and once via an error after a fielder's choice. Made some really nice plays in the field, including nabbing Chris Monroe at first base after diving toward the bag to snag a hard grounder. That time he hits a foul ball off his shin. Undeterred, he steps back in. Tips the bill of the cap. Tomkowitz to the plate. It's a high fastball, a 1-1. Wiltshire smacks one high into the air. Drifting back towards straightaway center field. Pelayo is under it. Fields it and tosses into Willman. It's the second out of the inning.
The first baseman, number 29, Jalen Lee.
Daniel Tomkowitz will look to complete his second straight 1-2-3 inning, facing the hottest hitter in the Red River lineup, Jalen Lee. 1 for 2. An RBI single and a ground out to second. Swings at a high fastball on the outer half. 0-1.
He's doing really well for his first night.
A nice off-speed there. Trying to backdoor the breaking ball, but it doesn't quite come all the way back. We will have a 1-1 count. Tomkowitz working much faster. A nicely located pitch at the knees, right on the back of the plate for strike 2. Tries to go out of the zone, seeing Lee chased a high fastball to start the at-bat. Lee wises up and leaves that one alone, a 2-2 count. That ball smacked to right field, back to the track. That ball is off the wall. Lee coming into second, he slides in safely. Ball rocketed off the bat, looked like it might have a chance to get out.
The double.
But with the wind blowing in from right field, you've really got to get a hold of one that way to push it through and over the wall. Lee got most of it, but quite not all of it. Alas, he's on second with a double. Josh Simon with an RBI opportunity. Another inside pitch for a strike. Tom Quitt's doing a nice job staying on that inside corner. Talked about Simon being in the heart of the Missouri Valley College lineup earlier. He's actually in the Heart of America Conference. He was the first Missouri Valley player to be named a first-team All-Heart Conference selection since 2016. Simon awaiting Tom Quitz that time, who's changing his rhythm, trying to mess with the hitter's timing, and does so successfully. Looks like a changeup dives away from the bat of Simon for strike two. Simon pokes one into left field. Muncie able to come in and corral it for out number 3. Jalen Lee able to smack an impressive double off the wall, but no runs for Red River. We're through 5 here at Kraft Field. The Pilots lead it 3-0 over the visiting Sabre Dogs. Hunter Delanoy climbs in for the 3rd time against Nate Scott. Grounds it to Kirkman. He shuffles to his right. Throws on to Lee. And a quick out number 1 here in the top of the 6th for Galveston College product, Nate Scott.
Following the ground out, now batting designated hitter number 31, Ben Newbert.
Nate Scott out of Clear Creek High School. Not the only Clear Creek High School player here in Grand Forks. Garrick Schreiber, one of his best friends and the fellow high school teammate, like I mentioned, here as well. Newbert on one hop to Wiltshire. A strong throw nips him at first. And 2 down here in the top of the 6th.
Now batting first baseman number 32, Chris Monroe.
Monroe climbing in now. Scott started 1 game in Galveston last season. As Monroe watches a knuckle curve, 4 strike 1. It was a 7-inning contest. Went 4 1/3 in that game. Allowed 2 hits. Walked 3 batters, but no runs. Obviously 0 earned runs. Not a strikeout in that game. But he's been doing what he did here tonight, just keeping hitters off balance, getting ground balls, and just soft contact. A 1-1 count to Chris Monroe. Central Michigan Chippewa, former Northwoods League All-Star. This guy has hit everywhere he's been. Transferred to Central Michigan from Illinois Springfield. He's 2nd in the Illinois Springfield program history in home runs and RBIs. 30 long bombs and 142 driven in. Some impressive stuff. It's also top 10 in numerous other hitting categories. Average, hits, doubles, total bases, runs, and slugging percentage. That ball fouled off. Just catching a piece of that one. Willers asks for that ball back. Hands it to the home plate umpire, and Scott. Payoff pitch on the way. Ball is hit into center. Whitley appears to have a read on it. Comes in and makes the catch. Nate Scott, a 10-pitch 6th inning. Doing great work out there on the mound. And the Pilots coming up here in the bottom of the 6th. You're watching the Expedition League here on YouTube.
As they are done.
We're in the bottom of the 6th inning here at Kraft Field in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Pardon me. Daniel Tomkowitz, after retiring 6 in a row, faces 2 for 2 Jason Willers. Misses way outside in the left-handed batter's box with his first pitch. 1-0 swung right over the top of by Willers. A Violent swing that time. You can tell he's looking to do damage with that one. Unable to put bat on ball that time. The 1-1 pitch. That one is skied into right field. Trotting in and making the catch for out number 1.
Following the F9, now batting center fielder number 5, Caleb Whitley.
Anthony Torales in right field. They're making that catch. He actually pinch hit last inning for Hunter Delanoy. And had that 4-3. Whitley in the box. Takes strike 1. A strikeout and a flyout to the shortstop for Whitley. This one saws him off a bit. And again, Demeter races over to make the catch in shallow left.
Now batting right fielder number 8, Micah Barkenhagen.
Micah Barkenhagen looking to do damage, climbing in the box. That's his mindset up there. Strikeouts don't really faze him. He knows that's part of the game with his approach. Nearly the same spot as the pitch that sat him down looking last time. That one just misses. Barkenhagen 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, 1 swinging and the one looking from before, and he takes a fastball for strike 1. I mentioned his long home run at Souris Valley a few days ago. Nowadays you typically see some bat flips in baseball as that slider swung on over the top for strike 2. But manager Matty Holum has outlawed the bat flip. Not a fan of it. He told his players if they bat flip, he will rush onto the field and tackle them before they reach first base. Micah's the only one so far to have the opportunity to call his bluff, but he passed on it. Probably a wise decision this early in the season. That one fouled back. One of the harder ones sent our way. Definitely made me shift in my seat a little bit. A 2-2 count from Tomkowitz on Barkenhagen. That ball popped way up in the air. Monroe coming in, making the catch. Right there in front of the camera, you could get him trotting back to the dugout. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tomkowitz. We're through 6 here in Grand Forks. We'll be right back. Jake Barlow comes to the dish. His third at bat against Nate Scott and the Pilots on this beautiful day for baseball. Scott across the outer half for strike one. Mentioned Barlow's success at Delta Valley State. That one is sent high into the air. Some communication between Kirkman and the center fielder Whitley, and it is Kirkman who ends up making the catch in short center. To finish my point really quickly on Barlow. Only hitting 182 through 3 games here in the Expedition League thus far, as Muncie likes the first pitch he sees, smacks it into left field. In front of Joey Hayden, it's down. Muncie's first hit of the night after going down looking and lining out to Wiltshire in his first 2 appearances. Scott pushes that fastball way outside to David Demeter. I'm going to correct myself real quick. Talking about Jake Barlow, I combined a couple different colleges. Lots of city and state universities in this group of players. That ball hops in front of the plate. Willers fires to second. No one was home. Walton almost able to nab Muncie on a dive. It was a strong throw. Muncie advancing on the wild pitch. A 3-0 count. Jake Barlow, Delta State University. That ball 4 is outside. 2 on for the Sabre Dogs. We'll get a mound visit here from the catcher, Jason Willers. Looks over to manager Matty Holm. Let's go out there and chat a little bit. Intense conversation there between Scott and Willers. Tying run at the plate here in Seth Delgado. You heard me talk about him hitting .391 at Oklahoma Wesleyan. Willers probably reminding Scott to stay intense. Can't take a hitter off in this order. Typically, you might think you can relax a little bit when you've got the 9-hole on deck. Nothing of the sort with this Souris Valley lineup. That ball fouled off near the dugout, third base side. First strike from Scott in the last 6 pitches. Grinding through it late in his start here. Can get out of the jam with a ground ball to the right spot. Fires a strike at the knees. He's ahead 1-2. The pitch lined into right field. That'll score Muncie from second. Demeter on to third. Souris Valley on the board. Manager Matty Holm and the rest of the infield coming in to talk with Scott. go-ahead run will step to the plate here with Cameron Willman. After that quick conversation, looks like Matty Holm decides to leave Scott in. He's going to trust his starter. You can say Scott has more than earned it with his performance through the first six and a third even. The umpires will have a conversation here with Sabre Dog head man Michael Kieran listening in. All three men head their separate ways. Last three hitters have gone single, walk, and single against Scott. You know he's looking for that ground ball to keep the lead. That's a fastball inside for ball one. Hops off to look back the runner at first, Delgado. The pitch, low and away. Willman motions for the runners to stay put. The third pitch skips in front of the plate. Willers does a nice job keeping it from rolling to the backstop. It's a 3-0 count. Scott really battling command right now. To say he has been sharp so far would be an understatement. You know he wants to do all he can to finish this frame. There's a fastball for strike one. The 3-1 pitch. Down and away. Willman manages to keep the bat back. It's a walk. And Coach Holm, if he heard me call him that, would probably tackle me like I bat flipped. But he's headed out to the mound, and there will be a new pitcher brought into the game. Scott unable to escape the traffic in this inning. He'll be replaced by high school teammate Garrick Schreiber. You see his teammates come out to greet him on his way off the field. Just a brilliant effort. 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1-run baseball. However, he is responsible for the runners on third, second, and first. We'll be right back after the warm-up here in Grand Forks.
Number 24.
A quick warm-up from our new pitcher, Garrick Schreiber. Looking to keep close friend and high school teammate Nate Scott in line for the win. And a beautiful pitch there from the Submariner. Comes back on the inside corner for strike one. If you look at Schreiber's line from his first appearance of the season, Wiltshire grounds it, throws home. Fielded that off a couple hops. No runs scored. It's a fielder's choice to the dish. 2 down in the inning. Schreiber needs one more out to escape the bases loaded jam. It's Anthony Torales. His second plate appearance after entering the game for Hunter Delanoy. That's another low pitch from Schreiber right across the plate at the knees. 1-1 count. As I was getting into, you look at Schreiber's line from his first appearance. You see 4 innings, 4 earned runs. That's why you can't just look at the box score. It doesn't really tell the whole tale. Is that pitch down and in for ball 2? Through the first 3 innings of that appearance, he allowed only 1 hit, struck out 1 batter, and 0 runs. Manager Matty Holm, as we talked about, a little series recap available on the Red River Pilots Facebook page. So he left Garrigan to preserve bullpen arms for the rest of the series. The submarine, the different release point, can really throw off hitters' timing. 3-1 count here. That ball is on a hop to Kirkman. He runs, grabs the ball. Pelayo crashes into him, upended, rolled over. That gets the Pilots out of the frame. Only the 1 run scored. Schreiber does his job. Red River in front 3-1. Stay tuned here for the 7th inning stretch. Now into the game to pitch. Tyler Elliott, in his first pitch, as a Sabre dog runs in on Kirkman, who was squaring around to bunt. That ball went off the bat, so it is a strike one. I'm sure it's not the more typical strike one Elliott was looking for there when he released that ball, but he'll take it. That's a fastball on the outside corner for strike two. Jared Kirkman 0 for 2 tonight. A pop out to the second baseman and a ground out to the shortstop, but he collects a hit there, placing that ball right in front of the charging Luis Pelayo for a leadoff single.
Following the single, now batting left fielder number 25, Joey Hayden.
What was it, 226?
Hey, what is it? Hey,
60, 80.
Joey Hayden back at the plate. 2 for 3. His last at-bat was a pop out to the shortstop. That fastball misses outside. Elliott, a right-handed pitcher from Montana State University in Billings. A senior. His 2-0 pitch on Hayden. Backdoor with the slider for a strike.
Yo.
Hayden trying to wait back on the fastball. Triggers but lays off, and it's a 3-1 count. Sabre Dog manager Michael Kieran not happy about that pitch being a ball.
You want us to just pick it? All right. Hey, Santi, we get to pick it. We get to pick it. Yeah.
3-1. That pitch is a called strike. Full count for Joey Hayden. Payoff pitch, grounded to Chris Monroe at first. Kirkman off with the pitch. He's safe at second. Monroe just steps on the bag.
The shortstop, number 7, Jack Walton.
One out in the inning for shortstop Jack Walton. Hayden doing his job there, advancing the runner. Bottom of the 7th here in Grand Forks, North Dakota. The Pilots looking for an insurance run. Walton trying to provide it with that swing, but he's unable to connect. A beautiful pitch right there from Elliott. Another fastball on the black of the plate at the knees. Couldn't have placed it better for strike two. The windup and the pitch. Walton lays off. It's at the letters, ball 2. Walton tries slapping that one into the left, but it rolls down the third baseline, foul. Elliott threw 34 2/3 innings last season. Demeter, to his right, tries getting the lead runner at third, but the throw was offline. Kirkman in safely. Nice head
Now
first
batting
slide.
third baseman number 6, Tyler Wiltshire.
Prevented Jake Barlow from being able to get to that ball. Walton stands at first base on the attempted fielder's choice. Tyler Wiltshire can drive in a run with a fly ball here, and he lines it to center field. Kirkman races back to tag. Pelayo's throw, it's on line. Kirkman in before the tag can get down. That's a sac fly from Wiltshire, and it's the fourth Pilots run of the game.
Now batting first baseman number 29, Jalen Lee.
That throw hung up just a tad as Delgado was waiting on it. Slightly off center toward your camera here in the right-handed batter's box, but a pretty strong throw from Pelayo. Kirkman doing a great job to hustle back to the bag and sprint home. Getting his left hand over the dish before Delgado could get the tag down. Now it's Jalen Lee. Walton off and running. Delgado's throw. Not in time. Walton sneaks his hand under. Not the best tag ever there from Demeter. He didn't slap it down on the wrist. Tag didn't end up coming until it hit Walton in the side of the helmet. The first steal for Walton of the year after being caught stealing. A different game. Lee way out in front of the off-speed pitch there. A beautiful offering from Elliott. I want to quickly correct myself. That's actually Walton's third stolen base of the season. High and away with the fastball. Walton's first stolen base of the game, I should have said. Lee working his bat with a 1-2 count. Lines it into left field. Walton hits the bag right as Muncy grabs it. His throw is way offline. He crosses the plate. Another insurance run for Red River. They lead it 5-1 off of Jalen Lee's second RBI single of the evening.
Now batting
Apologies with the audio there. Josh Simon, anyway, smoked that ball back up the middle. Pelayo misplaying it. It's a single and an advance to second on the E8 as Willers takes a slider for strike one. Give Tyler Elliott props for getting out of the way of that ball. Can't imagine what that would have felt like off an ankle. Willer is out in front. It's 0-2. Willers lays off the high cheddar there. 1-2 count.
Saving range a total of $452.
The 1-2 for Willers. Swung at and missed. Slider down and away. It's kryptonite anymore in baseball. Elliott gets out of the inning. But not until 2 runs score for Red River and they extend the lead. It's 5-1 Pilots. Top of the 8th inning upcoming here at Kraft Field.
Raffle prize raised a total of $452.
Garrick Schreiber back on the bump here in the top of the 8th. First offering to Newbert is smacked foul to the right side. Probably onto one of the other fields here at the complex. That looked like that one was getting out of here. And Newbert takes strike 2. Such a difficult arm slot for hitters to prepare for and then adjust to. Every pitch darting back inside toward righties. That one does too. Looked pretty good, but it misses just high. It's a 1-2 count against Ben Newbert. Oh for 3 with a fielder's choice. A fly out to center and a ground out to third. That one fouled away toward the Pilot dugout. The count remains 1-2. 5-1 Red River here at Kraft Field. That ball lifted just into shallow left center. Newbert off the end of the bat is able to reach first base.
Now batting first baseman number 32.
Now Chris Monroe stepping into the box. The biggest player I've seen in the Expedition League so far. He's 6'5", 250 pounds. For point of reference, that's the same height as NFL tight ends Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Only 5 pounds lighter than Andrews, 10 pounds lighter than Kelce. So very big hitter right here. Grounded to Kirkman. Walton's throw skips out of the glove of Lee. Tailed off on Walton as he tried to make the quick turn. There's another pitch that went off the nub of the bat. Some serious backspin on it as Kirkman fielded it on a hop.
Now batting third baseman number 4, Jake.
Pilots do get a run out of it. Get an out of it, pardon me. Monroe at first for Jake Barlow. Barlow somehow gets out of the way of that pitch. My view a bit obscured by the umpire. Looked like that one might have nutmegged him. A heck of a play by Willers to not let it get to the backstop. You can really tell Schreiber with the inside plan of attack here on Barlow. Doesn't want to allow him to get his hands extended. A nice pickoff move. Monroe able to slide back in safely. Schreiber low and away, ball 2. That pitch hit to Walton. A smart play. Tried dropping it to get the double play, but the umpire says that he caught it.
Now batting.
A nice
number 8,
attempt there from
Cody
Walton, though, to try and
Muncy.
get 2 outs on the one play. Might have been able to let it happen if he had sat back on it, but if you let that ball bounce right in front of you, you don't have any idea where it could dart. So Barlow go down as a pop out to the shortstop. Monroe still on first for Cody Muncy. It's a 2-0 count now. Three and 0 on Muncy. Left fielder made a few different plays in left tonight. Tried gunning out a runner at the plate earlier, but the throw was
Now batting
offline.
shortstop number 9, David Demeter.
He walks this time, and 2 are on for David Demeter. Brings me an opportunity to talk about my stat of the day. My stat of the day here is runs created. This is prompted by seeing the stat the other day. In Demeter's bio for Souris Valley, that ball dumped into left center. Hayden unable to corral it off a bounce. It's an RBI single for Demeter. Monroe around to score. It's 5-2.
Following the RBI single, now batting catcher number 17, Seth Delgado.
Nonetheless, I will trudge on with my stat of the day. What it does, it estimates a player's offensive contribution in terms of total runs, invented by Bill James in the late 1970s. Seth Delgado in with 2 outs. Schreiber with the sword, a beautiful pitch down and away for strike 1. The basic formula, you add together a player's hits and walks, multiply it by total bases, and divide it by the sum of at-bats and walks. Swing and a miss from Delgado again. 0-2 for Schreiber. So for David Demeter, the Sabre Dogs infielder, after the last game, he had 4 hits and 3 walks. Add that together, you get 7. He had 8 total bases with those 4 hits. Adds up to 56. 15 at-bats plus 3 walks. A beautiful slider from Schreiber. Catches Delgado looking, flips the bat over to the first base dugout where the Sabre Dogs reside. Garrick Schreiber, some nice work there in the 8th. Pilots have one more opportunity here to add on to a lead for a possible save in the 9th. We'll be right back here in Grand Forks. Caleb Whitley back at the dish, his 4th at-bat. 0 for 3 this far with 2 flyouts to the shortstop and a strikeout. Elliott blazes strike 1 right by him. Before I try to get back to completing my stat of the day for all the intrigued viewers out there, I know you all are just very in tune for that. A strike 2 curveball. Elliott ahead 0-2. Had 4 strikeouts for every walk at Montana State. Whitley lays off of that one. The appeal to the first base umpire, only 2 umpires out here, says no swing. Ks per 9 averaged just over 13 Ks per 9, which is a very impressive number. 52 strikeouts in 34 2/3. Whitley, a bouncer up the middle. Willman fields, throws all in one motion, nips Whitley at first base.
Following the 4-3, and now batting your right fielder, number 8, Micah.
Whitley thought he was there based on his reaction after getting through the bag, but he'll head back to the dugout with 1 out. Micah Barkenhagen coming into the box. So 15 at-bats and 3 walks for Demeter with the 4 hits and 3 walks times 8 total bases. You get 56 divided by 18. The runs created 3.1 repeating. That's so far this season. Off speed is inside to Barkenhagen. He hops out of the box, 1-0. The leaders in runs created this season as of last evening. Paul Goldschmidt for the Cardinals with 47. Rafael Devers with 46. Barkenhagen swings and misses at the slider down and away. Then tied for 3rd, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, and Manny Machado, each with 44. Albert Pujols has the most among active players all time with 2,253. That ranks 9th in the history of baseball. Beautiful pitch outside corner for strike 2. And the top 5 all-time leaders in runs created: Barry Bonds, 2,892. Babe Ruth, 2,718. Stan Musial, 2,552. Barkenhagen, the fastball high, and he swings under it. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
Don't hit it, though.
Hank Aaron, 4th all-time with 2,549. And then Ty Cobb, 2,515.
Jared Kirkman.
It's a heck of a lineup there, both for the 2022 season and all time. Those numbers and everything with the stat of the day come from Baseball Reference. Kirkman ahead 1-0 in the count, and ahead 2-0 now after a low fastball. Elliott requesting a new baseball. Pilots received approximately 700 baseballs today from the Expedition League, branded with the Expedition League logo. Kirkman watches the off speed there for a strike. And Elliott gets the right spin on that breaking ball. It's a beauty. And unable to do so that time, it skips and hits Delgado in the mask. A 3-1 count for Jared Kirkman, manning the keystone tonight for the Pilots. Two away here in the bottom of the 8th. Kirkman takes a fastball right down the can for a strike. It's a full count. Pilots were unable to claim a victory in Minot against Souris Valley. Got the home cooking going early. Kirkman, 1 hopper over to Barlow at 3rd. A nice throw. Able to get him out at first base. The Pilots will look to claim their first ever victory. Can do so with 3 outs here in the top of the 9th. We'll be right back here We've got Expedition League Baseball here on the Red River Pilots YouTube channel. Garrick Schreiber looking to finish off what would be a 2 2/3 inning save here at Kraft Field. Fires a fastball that just misses low to Cameron Willman. That one in the same exact spot, 2-0. Willman 1 for 2. He has a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout to the left fielder Hayden. As Schreiber hits the outside corner there, a 2-1 count. That one cuts back inside too far. It's off the plate. A 3-1 count. Have some action up in the Pilot's pen in case anything's able to get interesting. A nice pitch from Schreiber there. Darts under the bat of Willman for strike 2. The payoff from Garrick Schreiber. Hit at Kirkman. He dives, gets a glove on it, spins. Couldn't get it out of his glove at first, but manages to make the play. Some beautiful defense behind Garrick Schreiber. And the Pilots 2 outs away from a victory. Kirkman in the first batting practice session here at Kraft Field. Actually had some live at-bats. Made a very similar play at third base as Luis Pelayo takes strike 1. Pelayo 0 for 3 with a walk. Led off the game with a walk. Down 0-2 in the count now. Don't forget, fans, we've got another game against Souris Valley tomorrow evening, same start time. Pelayo whiffs at that pitch, low and inside. Schreiber with another strikeout. And the Pilots 3 strikes away from victory numero uno.
Number 21, Anthony Torales.
Anthony Torales, the man between the Pilots and a victory. Schreiber out of the stretch, fires, it's low for ball 1. As I was talking about a moment ago. Same first pitch time tomorrow evening between the Sabre Dogs and the Pilots. Had a rain out yesterday, unfortunately. Another ball from Schreiber there on the inside. But we finish off a 2-game set tomorrow First pitch, 6:35 Central Time, 7:35 Eastern. And then we have a 4-game home set with the North Iowa Ragin' Roosters, who are playing games with the Pierre Trappers. Those are the 4 teams in the league. They played their opening series in Pierre and are now back in Iowa for a couple. That was strike 1 from Schreiber, and that one again low. A 3-1 count. Anthony Torialis. The East Stroudsburg University product. That pitch just misses low. Torialis does his job to keep the line moving.
Following the walk.
One
Now
on
batting
base
designated hitter number
for Ben
31.
Newbert.
Ben Newbert.
One for 4 this evening with a single. Hit into left center, and he might have got a hold of that one. Hayden back near the wall. He squeezes it. That's the game. Red River with their first win of the season. Wiltshire and Lee out near the mound. Jump up in celebration. The Pilots will be the last ones on the field tonight. 5-2 your final.
That is the end of your game here as the Pilots find a way to get the victory 5-2.
After a tough series in Minot, the Pilots
playing at 6:35
in front of the home
against
fans able to get the job done. The win goes to Nate Scott. Fired 6 1/3 innings of brilliant baseball. Just 1 run allowed, 6 hits, and finished off by Garrick Schreiber. The save, 2 2/3, a couple Ks, 1 run allowed.
Grab food as you go through here.
Pilots happy to get off the schneid.
Have a bag of food for you.
The Clear Creek High School products get it done for Red River. Be sure to check out Facebook later this evening for a recap with Matty Hold'em and a couple select players. Thank you all for tuning in this evening for the Expedition League. We'll be back tomorrow.